We're back. The wait is over. Who we got coming up, Marsha?
She's a songstress hailing from Harlem, New York, whose voice harkens back to a time when singers were unique and brilliant. She shared the stage with some of the greatest legends in the business. Are y'all ready for this? I'm about to read off some of these. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Donna Summer, Sinead O'Connor, and Chris Bodie. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first conversation listening party, so please welcome the star, Miss Vivian Sessoms. Welcome, Vivian.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Wow. Ms. Sessoms, certainly welcome to our show. I just wanted to tell you the first time I heard your CD, I was blown away by not only the content, but, just the quality of music. It's just remarkable. I don't even have words to say. I enjoyed number 1 through 14.
Wow, thank you so much. I love to hear that.
And we just heard your track, Oh Baby, coming out of the break, and I know many times songs have a unique story that only the voice behind it knows. So what's the story behind Oh Baby?
At times, first of all, I love a love song. I just feel like there can never be too many love songs. And, of course, everyone has had their share of heartbreak. So, everybody can relate to it. Right. And, I'll have friends or even myself at various points in my life that, I've been in a relationship that hasn't been optimum, hasn't been all that you wish it could be. And so I wrote that song, and it started out as a ballad, but I felt like, okay, it's kind of sad as a ballad. Maybe I should make it faster just to, the music was a little different, and I was like, this is really dark right here. Maybe I need to put some drums under it or something just to make it, not so sad, but I do love a love song, and I mean, there's just so many amazing songs about heartbreak out there that, even though I'm not, you don't have to be in it and living it to know a beautiful song when you hear one, So I think I'm a crooner, really naturally,
Right. And your album Sunny One Day, released in 2007, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds as if I could have just gone to the store and purchased it today, like you just wrote it. How do you manage to create work that remains fresh and relevant through the years in an industry that's ever changing?
Well, actually, I was just talking about this to someone the other day. First of all, I try to write what I feel and how I feel. And musically, in terms of the instrumentation, I like really organic sounds, and I tend to think that organic sounds, they don't get old-fashioned. That's just my opinion, but I think that when you listen to, certain songs of the 70s and the 60s, a lot of that music still sounds very fresh today, so much so that many of us are still very inspired by it. Right. And I think the reason is because of the organic instrumentation they use, but also just the way that people wrote at that time. It was just such a, when you think about artists like, Stevie Wonder and, even the Jacksons and different ones, it's like music just, it has such an honesty to it, I think is what I'm trying to say. So I try, to emulate that in my music and not to be too trendy, but try to be honest at all times.
Right. And Clark mentioned earlier another question, the Baby Buddha label. Does that make you an independent artist?
Yes, I am an independent artist. I do have some distribution in Japan, and, you know, I'm also on CD Baby, and so they have gotten my songs to several stores for me when people request it. And then I've also done the legwork and gotten myself into stores on my own, like Best Buy and, you know, onto Amazon, and a bunch of stores around the country. You know, just call them up and ask them if they'd be interested. You know, there were a lot of people who were interested and asked if I would send it to them to put in their store. So I thought to myself, well, maybe other stores will be interested. So I just, you know, searched the internet and got the names of all the stores that would carry music like mine and called them or wrote letters. And, you know, relating to the artist that you just had, the guest that you just had, I mean, I'm a firm believer that all anybody can ever do is tell you no. And you won't know until you ask. And most of the time, if you ask nicely, people will say yes.